Welcome back, guys. This time around I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Now this, as you can see by the symbol on the wallpaper, is a Debian distribution. I changed it up a little bit. I went with a different theme, a different wallpaper. I changed the icon down at the menu. It is the LXDE flavor, which is very nice, lightweight, nice desktop environment. I am making this video with my newfound best friend, screencaster VocoScreen. Was recommended to me, and it is extremely nice. It's got pretty much everything that you would want. You can tick off your webcam. You can eliminate the webcam just to the screen. Full screen, magnification, show key. You set up your microphone. You set up your frames per second and your video codec. Nice and easy. The path to save your videos. Your webcam, you can stop and pause while it's recording. It does have a countdown. All in all, it's extremely nice and so easy, so intuitive. And it's available. I was able to find it from Manjaro. I was able to find it in Ubuntu. I was able to find it in Debian. And of course, I found it based on a recommendation from one of our viewers who had asked that I take a look at the new Chakra. And that's where I first used it, on the Chakra review. But I'll tell you, it makes things so easy. So this is a Debian distribution, and it is plain old Debian. I downloaded Debian, let's see. I downloaded Debian from the Debian website, Getting Debian, clicked on download an installation image. Hold on one second. I clicked on complete installation image. There I clicked on download CD DVD using HTTP, and then you have a choice of the stable or the testing. Usually I go stable, but I went testing on this one. And the difference that I find is that a lot of the applications or packages that I usually install are not always available on the stable version, but every one of them has been available on the testing, including VocoScreen. So I really like that. Now, granted, as I've mentioned in the past, the installation is not as user-friendly as some of the other Debian distributions like Sparky, Point Linux, Linux Mint Debian Edition. The install is a little bit more user-friendly, but it's not bad at all. I mean, there is a choice of a command line install or a graphical, and of course I went with the graphical. And the only difference is that you just need to have a good grasp of your disks and your partitions. So if you're going to try to install plain Debian, what I would suggest is identify the partition that you want to install to. So for example, I installed to an SSD that had 2 other distributions on it. Of course, I didn't want to mess with those, And so basically I brought up in another distribution on the disk, I brought up gparted just to see which partition I was going to install. I wrote down the letter designation, and then when I booted off the USB that I burned Debian to, I knew exactly where I wanted to install. So I clicked on, you have an option of using a whole disk. You do have options, guided options, which I didn't do. I did the full manual partitioning, which all I had to do was designate my root partition and designate my swap partition. Then it did the install, and then it asked me where I wanted to install the bootloader. Well, it asked me, the first screen says, do you want to install it to the master boot record? And I said no. Then when you click on no, it brings up another screen and asks you where you want to install it. And basically I just installed it to my root partition. And I installed legacy, so that made it pretty easy. And when I rebooted, I had Debian come up on my boot screen, and all the other distributions were left untouched. So it worked out really well. Now I will say that when installing Debian, my wireless mouse and keyboard did not function during the install, and so I had to hook up a wired mouse and keyboard to do the install. Once I finished the install and I booted into the installed desktop, my mouse and keyboard worked immediately. So just a heads up, if you do have a wireless mouse and keyboard, then you may need to have a wired mouse and keyboard available for the install. Other than that, everything went without a problem. I have installed Redshift, psensor, Clipit. If you look at my if you look at the network manager, I am connected right now through Ethernet, but all of my Wi-Fi networks are available. So it recognized and configured them right out of the box. I haven't had to do anything, but again, keep in mind this is not the Broadcom NVIDIA machine. If I were to install this on Broadcom and NVIDIA, I would have to install manually my Broadcom and my NVIDIA graphics. That's just the way it is. I installed Sparky Linux on that machine, and I had to manually install the drivers. Even though Sparky has a driver manager which identified my Broadcom and my NVIDIA, and when I clicked on install, it went through the process, but it didn't do it right. Actually messed up the system, and I had to reinstall. And then I installed my drivers for Broadcom and NVIDIA manually, and everything was fine. So there are some things that with Debian that are a little bit more work, but other than that, everything has gone fine. As I said, when you're installing, and I'm going to show you what happens when you click on testing. When you click on testing, it's going to bring up a list of files, basically, or directories where the ISO files are located. So if you click on your architecture, in my case AMD 64, then it will bring up an ISO in the CD format, and that's what you want to click on. And then it'll bring up, as you can see, Debian Testing AMD 64. There's a net install, which is a minimal install. It's only 253 megs. I selected the XFCE. Now when you select the XFCE and you burn it to your USB, when you boot off that and you go through the install, it's going to give you an opportunity to designate your desktop environment. And you'll be able to uncheck XFCE, as I did, and put a check mark on LXDE. So you can make, as long as you download this XFCE package, which is 634 meg, as I said, as long as you download this one, it will give you a choice of multiple desktop environments. You can install only one, or you can install multiple. It's entirely up to you. Just check off the ones that you want. Now, I only picked LXDE just because I wanted to keep the install as small as possible. So that is where you'll go for the testing. Now, as I said, I usually install the stable, but in this case, I'm glad I went with testing because it means that I don't have to search high and low to be able to install some of the applications that I like to install when I load up a distribution. So that is the download information. So let me minimize that. Now I went and downloaded some wallpapers, and I went and downloaded some icons, and I changed to a different Debian icon on the panel here. So on the panel I have the normal LXDE menu, and I'll go through that in a minute. Then I've got the file manager, which is PCman FM. Now this theme I have loaded did not come with it. I'll show you that in a minute when I go to the configuration. The web browser is Iceweasel, which is fine. You know, it's basically Firefox, and I configured it the way I usually do. It's fine. No problems with that. And so, and of course you have the ability to icon, and let's see, where is it? There it is. So you can clear the icons and the windows off your desktop with this little button there. Now you've got two desktops to pick from. You've got a CPU monitor on the right, networks. I've got Clip It, pSensor, Redshift, and this is Voco screen. If I right click, I have the ability to stop it, pause it, hide the window, exit. There's a clock. This is the screen lock, and you've got your log out screen. Now I added a couple of icons to the desktop. I have LX Terminal and Voco screen. The LXDE environment, when you right click, you can go into your desktop preferences, where you can load up your wallpaper, designate your desktop icons, and go through the advanced, which I usually leave as the default. Okay, so let's go to the menu. In preferences, customize look and feel. Now, I installed Adwaita Graphene, which is what you see here. It's a decent dark theme. I usually bounce between that and Numix, but I don't have Numix loaded yet. So Adwaita Graphene is fine. I went with the customized color schemes. The icon, I'm just using GNOME. I haven't loaded any other icons. It does come with Nuove XT 2.2. That's what is loaded out of the box. Mouse cursor, window border, I'm using Nightmare for the black top. And other than that, it is, that's your look and feel. Now, let's take a look at default applications. Here is where you can set up your auto start. I have, well, LX Panel obviously is loaded, PCman FM, and X Screensaver. I have Caffeine, pSensor, Redshift, and Clip It added. And you can manually add by clicking Add and then putting in the command. It's very easy. It's a very nice, usable desktop environment. Now, on the back to the menu, it doesn't come with a whole lot of programs loaded. You have everything you need: X Screensaver, print settings, Synaptic, time and date. So you have everything that you need. For accessories, I installed Caffeine, Clip It, Redshift. Everything else was there. Then the Debian entry on the menu basically just breaks everything down. And if you go through there, you'll find a lot of subcategories. But most of it is driven off of the programs in the main menu. So we will go back: Education, LibreOffice Math, Graphics, there's LibreOffice Draw, GIMP, Document Viewer, Internet, Iceweasel. This is the WICD Network Manager down in the bottom right in the system tray in the panel. That's what the Network Manager is. Office is LibreOffice. Sound and video, I installed Kodi and SM Player and Voco Screen. It came with Alsa Mixer and LX Music. System tools, the File Manager, the Terminal. I added pSensor, Report Bug, Root Terminal, Task Manager, UX Term, Xterm. Universal Access is just a screen reader. So this is plain Debian 8.2 Jessie. It is the testing edition. I do recommend it. It is rock solid and stable. It's a little bit more difficult to install, but if you're looking for a plain, bare bones install that you can configure just the way you want it, then you might want to give this a try. And as I said, with the testing edition, most of the applications that you would use on a daily basis are already available in the repos. Now, I will caution you one other thing that you'll need to do. After you do the install off the USB, go into your, I'll use the File Manager. Go into your sources, and that is in etc apt sources list. Okay, now do you see the CD-ROM entries? Okay, what you'll need to do, this one here is commented out, but the second one is not after the install. So if you do an apt-get update, it's going to want to pull information from the CD. And you don't want it to do that. You want it to go to the websites, to the internet sources, to pull the latest information. So what I advise is do what I did. Just open your a sources list as root and put a little $ in front of that second CD-ROM entry, and that will take care of that problem. When you do your apt-get update, it'll just pull from the Debian repos and you'll have a nice smooth update. Okay guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming by the channel, and please rate, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you soon. Take care, guys.